There comes a point in almost every career where things just feel stuck. You are not unhappy, but you are not excited either. You do the same things the same way every day. No new challenges, no growth, and slowly your motivation starts to slip. I have been there too, more than once actually. There was a time when I would wake up, get dressed, sit in front of my laptop, and just stare. Everything felt robotic, like I was just checking boxes. I wasn't learning anything new, I wasn't growing, and that constant sense of blah began to affect other areas of my life too. I started doubting myself, wondering if I was doing enough, if I had made the right choices. That's why in today's video, I want to talk to you about how to stay motivated when your job feels stagnant. Not how to quit or run away, but how to deal with the here and now. These are little shifts that helped me feel energized without changing my job overnight. If you are in a similar place, this one's for you. Acknowledge the feeling. The first step is simple but powerful. Just admit that you are feeling stuck. Don't brush it off. Don't shame yourself for not being grateful. It's okay to want more. It doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you human. For the longest time, I kept telling myself, you should be thankful you even have a job. And yes, I was. But that didn't mean I had to ignore how I was feeling. When I fully acknowledged that I wasn't satisfied, it was like something inside me softened. I stopped being angry at myself for feeling off. Sometimes, just saying it out loud, I feel stuck, brings relief. It gives you the space to figure out why. Is it the work, the lack of growth, the environment, or maybe it's burnout in disguise? Once you know what you are dealing with, you can begin to make small, intentional changes. It's not about fixing everything at once. It's about being honest enough to say, okay, something feels off, and that's worth looking into. Redefine motivation. Let's talk about motivation. We often imagine it as this big, dramatic push, like some magical burst of energy that makes everything exciting. But that's not how motivation really works, especially when your job feels flat. I used to wait for motivation to come to me. I thought it would just show up one morning and pull me out of the slump. But what I learned is that motivation isn't something you wait for. It's something you build. Start by lowering the bar. Motivation doesn't have to mean being super productive every day. It can simply mean doing one task with more intention. It can mean finishing something on time even if you didn't feel like it. It can mean showing up even when it's hard. Instead of asking yourself, how can I feel more motivated? Try asking, how can I make this a little better today? That mindset shift changed a lot for me. Some days I still don't feel like doing much, but I remind myself that consistency, not excitement, is what keeps the wheel turning. Find meaning in small wins. One thing that helped me a lot was looking for meaning in the small stuff. When we talk about feeling stagnant, we are usually talking about the big picture. No promotions, no new roles, nothing major happening. But sometimes, the small wins are hiding in plain sight. I started making a habit of writing down just one thing I did well each day. It could be something as simple as finishing a report early, helping a teammate, or even just staying calm during a tough call. Over time, I started seeing patterns. Little moments where I was actually doing a lot better than I gave myself credit for. Celebrating small wins gives you back a sense of control. It reminds you that your efforts still matter, that you are not just floating through the day. So if you feel like your job is stuck, start there. Notice and name the little victories. They might not show up on your resume, but they do something important. They build your confidence back, one moment at a time. Learn something new, even if it is not required. Sometimes the work itself doesn't change. The projects stay the same. The meetings stay the same. But your perspective can shift when you start learning something new. Not because your manager told you to, but because you wanted to. A few years ago, I signed up for a short course on communication skills. It wasn't mandatory. It didn't even relate to my current tasks. But I did it anyway, and surprisingly, it reignited something in me. I started applying little things I had learned, asking better questions, framing ideas differently, and slowly my daily work started to feel more engaging. Learning doesn't have to mean taking a big course or spending hours online. It can be reading one article a day, listening to a podcast during your commute, or shadowing someone from another team. The point is, when you are growing in some way, even outside your direct job role, you feel less stuck. You feel like you are investing in yourself, and that creates a kind of inner motivation that no job title or external reward can replace. Take ownership of your routine. When your job feels stagnant, days tend to blur together. Wake up, log in, work, log out, repeat. And before you know it, weeks pass and you don't even remember what you did. One of the best ways to break that cycle is to take control of your routine, even just a little. I started doing this by creating a morning ritual before work. Nothing fancy, just 15 minutes to drink tea, stretch, and write down what I wanted from the day. It gave me a small sense of purpose even if the work itself hadn't changed. You could also try scheduling your tasks differently, blocking out deep focus hours, or setting small goals for the week. Think of it like designing your day instead of just surviving it. We may not always be able to control the work we get, but we can control how we approach it. And sometimes changing how your day looks on the outside can shift how it feels on the inside. Talk to someone. I can't tell you how many times I have felt stuck, only to realize later that I was carrying the feeling alone. We tend to internalize it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I am overthinking. But the truth is, talking about it helps. When I finally opened up to a friend about how dull my job felt, he didn't offer solutions right away. He just listened, and somehow saying it out loud made it feel real and also less heavy. If you can, talk to someone at work, a colleague you trust, or even your manager. Not to complain, but to say, I'd love to feel more engaged. Is there anything I can take on or explore? You'd be surprised how many opportunities stay hidden simply because we don't ask. And if you feel unsafe or unsupported at work, then talk to someone outside of it. A friend, a mentor, a coach. You don't have to fix it alone. Sometimes the clarity we need is just a conversation away. Reconnect with your why. When your job feels stagnant, it's easy to forget why you started in the first place. We get so caught up in to-do lists and deadlines that we lose sight of the bigger picture. Take a moment to ask yourself, why did I choose this field? What part of this work once made me feel proud or useful? The answer might not be obvious, but sometimes just remembering who you wanted to be when you started can reignite a little fire. I once pulled out an old journal where I had written my goals from 3 years ago. Reading it made me smile, not because I had achieved everything, but because I remembered the version of me who had dreams, hopes, and energy. It reminded me that I wasn't just doing a job, I was building a life. Even if you are not where you want to be yet, you are not where you started either. You have grown, you have learned, and you can keep going even if it is slow. Your why doesn't have to be dramatic, it just has to be true. Give yourself permission to dream again. Sometimes the best thing you can do when your job feels stagnant is to allow yourself to dream. Not in a quit everything and move to the mountains kind of way, but in a gentle, curious way. Ask yourself, if I could do anything next, what would it be? It doesn't mean you are leaving tomorrow. It just means you are opening a door. When I allowed myself to explore new ideas like writing or mentoring or even starting something on the side, I felt a shift. The job I had didn't change, but my sense of possibility did. That alone brought some energy back. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to explore new paths. You are allowed to outgrow something that once felt right. So even if nothing changes today, just know that the feeling of being stuck is temporary and that your next step might be closer than you think. Feeling stuck at work doesn't mean you are failing. It doesn't mean you are lazy or ungrateful. It just means you are ready for something more, and that's actually a good sign. It means you still care. Staying motivated in a job that feels stagnant is about finding small sparks. It's about being honest with yourself, learning new things, taking tiny actions, reconnected with what matters, and most of all, being patient with your process. You don't need to have it all figured out today, but you do deserve to feel fulfilled, even if it starts with something small, like showing up with a little more intention or talking to someone about how you feel. So if you're watching this and feeling stuck, I want you to know you are not alone. You are not behind. You are just at a pause point, and from here you can move in any direction. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small change you are thinking of making to feel more motivated at work? Let's talk in the comments. And if this video helped you, share it with someone who can benefit from it. I will see you in the next one. Until then, keep growing.